Hi there, we're the Bergey Boys Blazing Barbecue team. This is my brother Brandon, I'm Brady, and our brother Brock is behind the camera. Our dad also makes up part of our team, but he's doing chores right now, so he'll be back to sample this when we're through. Today we're going to be making a prime rib. KFIL asked us to do this in celebration of Christmas. It's a very popular dish to serve for your main feast. So we'll get right to it and show you how we do it. So what we like to do is use a butter to bind all of the ingredients together. Also helps give a little bit of a crust and formalize some of that additional flavor with it. We have some thyme and rosemary. So what we do is just pour each in. Maybe that little stir, Brandon. Add the rosemary, diced garlic, and we have our steak seasoning blend, which is salt, pepper, garlic powder, excuse me, and some other seasonings as well. Just stir that up, make a nice paste out of it. Perfect. And we just basically glop it into the top. Really focusing on that top layer. This is a what would be a 4-bone prime rib, also known as a ribeye roast. If you would cut it, you'd have your ribeye steaks. I got it from Oak Meadow Meats up in Harmony. Very nice cut of meat, and we're just adding some flavor profile on it. Prime rib doesn't require a lot of additional flavors. You could just use salt and pepper. This is just something to maybe take your Christmas meal one step further. If you're trying to impress your in-laws or girlfriend, parents, go for this. It'll look great. We're not worried about the bottom side. The bottom side has all the fat on it, so we don't have to add a lot of flavor onto that. It'll just basically add for the drippings when we make the au jus. Perfect. I think that looks great. Now if you look here, this was some of the fat that we removed from the bottom side. We added some garlic, and we just have a roasting rack. If you bought your prime rib roast bone in, you won't need the roasting rack. You'd put the bones down, and that would act as kind of an elevated platform. But as ours is boneless, we will be utilizing this. So we added some garlic cloves just to help add some of the flavor for the drippings that'll make our au jus at the end. Alright, now that it's all lathered up, we can go ahead and put it right in our roasting pan. We will add some additional seasonings on top of it. We have ground sea salt. You could use kosher salt if you wish. Pepper that we just ground this morning as well. One of our favorite seasonings, we actually use this on brisket for competitions. It's a seasoning blend that we make up. Again, more onion, garlic, those flavors, and that'll take care of it. So actually what we'll do is probably start with the pepper. We just give it a nice coating. Season about twice as much as what you think you'll want. A lot of this will not actually absorb into the meat. It'll just give that nice layer of crust that prime rib is known for. Bernie, you want to lift that up a little? Get that side. Okay. That side. Now I believe a lot of people probably won't put the seasoning on the sides. We're competition barbecuers, so we like to have that seared on all sides, but if you wanted every piece to be uniform, you'd probably want to skip that step. Just to leave our seasoning on top. Again, it could be as simple as salt and pepper. We're trying to make this look fancy for TV. It doesn't have to be as much as what we're going on here. And then the salt. Salt is crucial to add plenty of that on there. This is actually a Hawaiian rock salt, sea salt, that that we use a lot on pork, and it's just actually what we had, so we didn't go buy anything special for it, just use what you have. But a nice thick flavored salt like this will really give you that crust. I think that looks good. Brandon, Brock,
a little more.
Where do you want it?
Yeah, it's good. A few more sprinkles.
And we'll probably add a little onto our fat that we're going to be using for rendering for the au jus. A little more flavor there as well. How's it look, Brock?
2 thumbs up.
Perfect. Alright. I think I'm just going to give it a little salt and pepper. Alright, we'll be back when we put it in the oven. If you surf the internet, you'll find several different recipes for prime rib. Us, again, being barbecue guys, we would typically smoke this in our outdoor smoker at about 300 degrees, so more of a roast smoke. Today, since we're trying to demonstrate how we cook when we're inside, we're going to show this at 500 degrees for 5 minutes. So our roast was 8.28 pounds, and I'm not very good at math, so I'm going to ask Brandon to help me with this, but what you do is take the poundage times 5 minutes, and that's going to get you kind of the rough estimate of where you need to be. So Brandon, in your head, if you would happen to help me out, 8.28 times 5.
It's going to be 41.4 minutes. Round it up to 42.
He was always the good one at math. So we'll put this in the oven at 500 degrees for 42 minutes. What we're going to do is allow for 1 extra minute to get the heat back up to 500 degrees when we open the door. Crucial on this, if you don't have a good thermometer, we'd highly recommend it. If you watched our steak video, you saw us using it there. We use ours. I use mine daily. As a team, we probably use it 2-3 times a month. So this is a nice little thermometer. We will use the 5 minutes per pound as a guide, but that's all it's going to be. Once we get to 120 degrees on ours, it'll beep. We'll take a look at it and see where things are at. Our goal is to raise it to about 125, 130 degrees, 125 being optimum for how we like our steaks, and prime rib, kind of in that 130, 135 degree mark after it raises, after sitting up for a little bit. So just find the best spot on it. If this was a bone-in, definitely want to avoid the bones, because that's going to give you an inaccurate read. But now we're ready to go. We'll set the timer for 42 minutes and see where we're at after that. Now, one thing to mention, we've had this roast sitting out for about 2.5 hours to try to let it raise to room temperature. So that's another thing to note with cooking any type of roast, especially like a prime rib. We want to make sure that it has a little time to get raised in temperature. Alright, it's been 42 minutes, so now all we have to do is, right now we're at 500 degrees, we're going to just turn the oven off, completely off, and what we're going to just let it sit there in the oven for 2 hours. We're not opening it, don't even think about looking into it, it'll lose all that heat that you're building up. What this is going to do is going to let it go from a high roast to 500 degrees, and then just kind of gradually slow it down, and so you have that sear on the outside, and then get to the perfect doneness on the inside. So we'll see you back in a couple hours. Alright, well right now our thermometer is reading 129. It's actually about 15 minutes earlier than we expected. 2 o'clock is when we thought we'd be pulling it off. It's about 1:45 right now. So that's the importance of having a good thermometer. It started blinking at us at 120, and we let it go to 125 and thought we'd try it out to 129. So that's where we like ours. We'll see how it looks in here in a second. Because the oven has been off for 2 hours or so, there's really no need to have oven mitts, but be careful just in case it is still hot. But Brandon, is it hot?
Nope, not hot. And it looks good.
So what we'll do is transfer it over to the cutting board, put some tin foil over it loosely, and let it rest for about 20-25 minutes. Alright, it's been resting for about 20 minutes. We're all getting hungry, so we're going to cut into it and see what we got. On the outside, we'd expect it to be a little bit more done than in the middle. with this particular recipe. See how my knife cutting skills are. What do you think, boys?
Looks perfect.
Let's have the nice color that we were looking for. Notice that there's not much gray on the outside. Pretty well consistently red and juicy. Let me get this slab out of the way and let you guys take a look too. Now if you'd like it more done, just put it in a cast iron pan on the stovetop until you get it exactly how you want it. Well, what do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, it sure looks good.
Well, we hope you enjoyed watching this. As you can see, it's a very simple process. We know it's intimidating after you hear prime rib and see the prices on the menu at the restaurant in town, but we took this recipe and hopefully simplified it a little bit for you, and we hope that you do enjoy it. Anything you would like to say?
Yeah, have a wonderful Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for watching.